After Adam and Eve were united as husband and wife, Eve became pregnant and soon gave birth to a son. She looked at her newborn boy and said, "I have given birth to a son, a male child, thanks to the Lord." She named him Cain. A little while later, she had another son, Abel. Abel grew up to be a shepherd, tending flocks of sheep, while Cain became a farmer, working the land and harvesting its fruits. As time passed, both brothers brought offerings to the Lord. Cain, bringing what he had grown, presented the fruits of his harvest. Abel, on the other hand, brought the best portions of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked favorably upon Abel and his offering, but he did not accept Cain's offering. This made Cain very angry and filled him with deep sadness. The Lord spoke to Cain, saying, "Why are you angry? Why are you downcast? If you do what is right, won't you be accepted? But if you don't, sin is lurking at your door, ready to pounce. It desires to have you, but you must master it." Instead of heeding God's words, Cain lured his brother out into the fields. There, in the solitude of the wilderness, Cain turned on Abel and killed him in a fit of jealousy and rage. Later, the Lord called to Cain, asking, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain, attempting to hide his guilt, answered coldly, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" God's voice was stern. "What have you done? Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now, because of your actions, the earth itself is cursed, and it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will become a wanderer, a fugitive on the earth." Cain, now gripped by fear, responded, "My punishment is too great to bear. You are driving me from the land today, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will wander the earth as a fugitive. Anyone who finds me will kill me." But the Lord, in his mercy, said to Cain, "Not so. If anyone kills you, they will suffer 7 times the vengeance." And with that, God placed a protective mark upon Cain so that no one would harm him. Cain, still bearing the weight of his sin, left the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod, to the east of Eden. In time, Cain took a wife, and together they had a son named Enoch. Cain built a city and named it after his son, calling it Enoch. Enoch's descendants grew, and over generations the family line expanded. Enoch's son, Irad, had a son named Mehujael, who fathered Methuselah, and Methuselah's son was Lamech. Lamech, a man of strength and boldness, took 2 wives, Adah and Zillah. Adah bore him a son named Jabal, who became the ancestor of those who lived in tents and herded livestock. His brother Jubal became the father of all who played musical instruments, the lyre and the flute. Zillah, Lamech's second wife, gave birth to Tubal-Cain, who became a skilled forger, mastering the crafting of bronze and iron. Tubal-Cain's sister Naamah also became part of this growing family. One day, Lamech spoke to his wives with a strange and dark boast. He said, "Adah and Zillah, hear my words. I have killed a man for injuring me, a young man for wounding me. If Cain is avenged 7 times, then Lamech 77 times." It was a chilling declaration, marking a further descent into violence and vengeance. Meanwhile, Adam and Eve were not without hope. Eve gave birth to another son, whom she named Seth. She said, "God has granted me another offspring to take the place of Abel since Cain killed him." Seth grew, and he too had a son, whom he named Enosh. It was during this time that people began to call upon the name of the Lord, marking the beginning of a new chapter in humanity's relationship with God. Thus, from Cain's line came a legacy of city building, music, and metalwork, but also a dark history of violence and revenge. And from Seth's line came a new hope, a call to remember God's name, and the promise that despite the fall, His grace would continue to work in the world.